I love you. Oh, thank you. Oh, let's go get some breakfast.
I'm gonna talk. Well, we're up on the North Shore because we were gonna go to our favorite beach, but it is currently raining outside, so we just grabbed some lunch. We have a very talkative Peanut in the back seat. I think we might stop and check out some waves though on our way back home because the waves are pretty massive today. We just got home from, I feel like, being in the car all day, which was not the plan. Dagan had to go get his car registered, new registration, and he likes to go up to one of the locations like up north because it's not as busy. So we were like, well, we're already going to be up in that direction. Let's just drive up North Shore, go to our favorite beach spot, grab some lunch, go to the beach. So we went up north and went and grabbed some lunch, but while we were there it started sprinkling and raining. It was just really gloomy out and we're like, well, we're not gonna go to the beach and sit on like wet sand. So we're like, you know what, let's just drive back home and just stop along the North Shore on the way home and watch the waves because it is surf season here. The waves are really big. I don't think the footage that I got like the actual picture of how massive the waves are, but they are very big up there. And I think there was a surf competition going on, or there was going to be one this weekend. They had like tents and stuff set up. So yeah, we checked that out. And of course, where we stopped, it was so sunny and nice and warm outside. And then I was kind of bummed that we didn't go to the beach, but it's already late in the afternoon and our daughter was getting really fussy because she was pretty much in the car seat most of the day, which was not the plan. But it's okay, we got good food. I need a shower because my hair is super greasy and I think we're just gonna lay low the rest of the day. Excuse me. Sunday, we're just about ready to head out to church. I have my little green overalls on. You can see. I love these. They're so easy to throw on and they're very comfy. They are a Free People Dupe I got off of Amazon. Love. And it's kind of chilly outside, so long sleeve. I mean, it's not really chilly outside. It's normal weather to most people, but it's chilly for being here in Hawaii, so we're wearing a long sleeve today. So tired this morning. Our fire alarm went off at like 2:30 a.m. I don't know if the batteries are low, but sometimes when they do get low, there's like an intercom voice that'll come on, and so randomly at like 2:30 in the morning, a voice came on and it was like super loud and it was like, attention, fire, there's a fire in the house. And I woke up and I was like, dang, go downstairs and see if there's a fire. There wasn't. I think that the batteries were just low. It just like startled us because it was so loud. Our daughter didn't wake up though. She was out. She was like dead to the world. Wouldn't have even known. But it was very alarming and took forever for me to get back to sleep because I was just like so jittery. Like my cortisol was just like through the roof. So now I'm really tired. And we're struggling to get out the door this morning and out of bed and yeah. But anyways, we're gonna head to church and get on the road. Yes. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Okay. Just wanted to... I gotta unbutton these pants. They're too tight. I just wanted to sit down and chit chat with you guys about the obvious situation. I have my little emotional support dog that's got stuff all over the couch. Where is he? There he is. Oh, my sweet boy. He has been the absolute best during this time. I don't even know how to like start talking about this because it's so personal, and I honestly debated on if I wanted to talk about it or not, but and some people might think that like, why are you talking about this? I don't know. It just felt weird to me. I wanted to start filming content again and just like creating because I missed it, and after the holidays we were just busy from the holidays and then it just kind of died down, and for me it would feel weird just kind of going back to normal life without kind of just talking about this. And I don't know, I just feel like if I didn't want to act and pretend like it didn't happen and then have this like little dark looming cloud over me and then have to like tiptoe around what I say. I don't know, I feel like sometimes just talking to the camera can be therapeutic. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I experienced a miscarriage earlier this month, and I guess I'm just going to kind of share what happened and just kind of like share my story with it, because I know it's so common and I know so many women have dealt with this or are currently dealing with this, so maybe somebody can relate to my story or take comfort in my story. I don't know. I found out that I was pregnant and we were not trying for a baby whatsoever. It was very surprising and shocking. I kind of figured like there's a high chance that I could be pregnant because I knew I was ovulating, which sounds silly, like why I would be shocked, but if you know my pregnancy journey and like trying to get pregnant, I have PCOS. It took us over 6 months for me to get pregnant with our daughter, and we were very diligent about tracking my cycle. And so I guess in the back of my mind, I just thought that it would be difficult to get pregnant again. I didn't think it would be this easy. So when I found out I was very shocked. And I found out very early, not because I had any symptoms or anything, just because I was like, like it's very highly likely that this could happen. Let me just go take a test. Like I don't think I was even 2 weeks along. So I was like, is that even possible? I don't know. I was just curious. So I did. And to my surprise, I was. And I was a little freaked out because we were not trying for a baby. I did not want 2 under 2. I've heard so many things about having 2 under 2 is a lot. It's the worst thing ever. All just these negative things. And so I was like, no, we are like going to do everything we can to wait until our daughter is at least like 2 before we start trying, just all these things. And so I was really scared and nervous. When I found out I was pregnant, I cried. I was just kind of panicking, and it was just like the opposite feeling that I had when I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. I was just like, it was coming from a place of fear and just like, this is gonna be a lot. We don't know where we're gonna be in the next year. Oh my gosh, what if I'm like, you know, pregnant and moving, and all these different thoughts started flooding into my mind. So I was just really freaked out. I don't want to say not happy, but you know, I wasn't as excited, which saying that out loud makes me feel awful knowing what happened. But that only was like for the first couple days, and then that quickly faded away. Dag and I were so excited. I started looking like up every video about 2 under 2, and I was like, our daughter is gonna grow up with a sibling. They're gonna be super close in age, and it's gonna be great, and they're just gonna grow up together and be super close. And I just was watching all these videos, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And I called my OB to set up an appointment. I called my midwife because I was like, I'm gonna have another home birth again. Why? Like, what are the odds? I was so excited. I told, obviously, like, you know, my mom, my sister-in-law, very close friends that are here on island. I was just like super excited because we waited so long to tell anyone about our daughter that I was like, you know, I just want to tell everyone and just celebrate. Which, looking back now, even though it was hard to have to explain what happened to everybody, I'm really glad that I did tell people so that I wasn't alone during this process. I found out I was pregnant, and I didn't have any symptoms or anything like that, and I never had any symptoms, and I was like, this is kind of weird. As I got closer to like the same amount of time as when I found out with our daughter, I still wasn't having symptoms or anything, and I was like, this is just kind of weird. It was almost 3 weeks after I found out I was pregnant that I lost the baby. It's so weird saying out loud. It was on February 7th. It was a Wednesday, and that's when it was like confirmed. The day before, though, is when it started happening. But I think I was a little bit in denial that it could be that. In the back of my mind, I knew it was probably that, but I was like, let's just think positive. So Tuesday, I started bleeding, and it was really light. It was very light pink, kind of from spotting to light, but really, really light. And I had implantation bleeding with our daughter, and so that's what I initially thought it was. And so I just went on with my day, and I was like, you know, a lot of women bleed in their first trimester. I'm not gonna like think anything of it. I didn't tell my husband at first because I was like, I don't want to freak him out. But as the day went on, I started bleeding a little bit more, but it was still very light in color. And so I did tell my husband, and I was like, hey, this is what's going on. I don't know what this is. And so I think he was trying to stay calm under this whole thing, and he's like, you know what, let's just go to bed. If you're bleeding in the morning, let's call the doctor and just like see what's going on. So that's what we did. We went to bed. I woke up, immediately went to the bathroom, and there was more blood in the morning, and it was starting to get darker. I just immediately started crying, and I was like, this is what's happening. I think I'm losing our baby. And I think my husband was a little bit in shock, and so he didn't really know what to say. He was just kind of like, I don't know, he didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do, so I immediately called my OB, and I was like, I think this is what's happening. Can I be seen? I wasn't supposed to go in until the following week to get my confirmation that I was pregnant with like via ultrasound. Before we left to go to the doctors, I went to the bathroom one more time to check. I was like, maybe it just got magically lighter. I don't know. So I went to the bathroom, and it got worse. I started passing clots. Really small clots, but clots, you know, and I'm just like looking at the toilet paper like, is that my baby? Like what is this? I don't know. I was really freaked out, and that's kind of when I started spiraling. I started like crying uncontrollably. My husband was getting our daughter in the car and then came back in to get me, and I was just like, I remember just like walking around the house and trying to get like my purse and my phone and just like making sure everything was turned off, and I was just like, I couldn't even like form the words to tell him. I was just like crying and like stuttering, and I just like couldn't get the words out really, and I could feel myself just like going downhill really fast. So we got in the car, went to the doctors. So we got into the room, and he was like, okay, my OB was like, all right, tell me what's going on. So I explained it to him, and you know, he was just kind of like listening to me as I was explaining to him what was going on, but I knew that something was wrong because when I told him I started passing clots before we got here, he kind of had like a look on his face like, and I just like, I forever have that facial expression now like engraved into my brain because I'm like, that's not good. That's not a good facial expression to have when you're explaining what's going on. He was just like, okay, let's like take a look. So he did an ultrasound, and there was nothing there. There was nothing there to really see. There was something small that he could see, but he couldn't tell because it was so faint. He was like, I don't know if this is a blood clot or the gestational sac, but based on where it was very close to my cervix. It wasn't high enough up into my uterus where a baby should be. So he's like, if this is the baby, it's not in the right position. There's no heartbeat. There's nothing here. Baby's already gone. He basically was saying, like, it looks like you're already in the process of miscarrying. So I think it's best to just let your body do its thing. So that was really hard to hear. I think what was also really difficult is just laying on that table and having to hold everything in so tightly, because all I wanted to do was just like scream and cry and just let everything out. But we had actually a lot of people in the room during this appointment. I had my OB, his scribe, a medical assistant, which I said she could be in there. I was fine with that. My husband, our daughter, in this tiny, tiny little room. So I have all these people staring at me, staring at the screen, listening to all this information, and I'm just like silently crying and so tightly. My face, I've never held so much tension in my face to prevent myself just from like crying. It took everything in me to not just like lose it. That was that. There wasn't anything, like I didn't get to bring home an ultrasound because there was nothing there. Our baby I don't think was even 5 weeks. So I think that's what's considered like a chemical pregnancy. So I know that's like still really early, but it's still, I knew I was pregnant for almost 3 weeks. So it's like, it's very easy, I think for a mom to get attached to her baby as soon as she finds out that she's pregnant. So we left that appointment and got in the car, and I just completely broke down and cried and screamed and cried and just like mourned the loss of our child. And Dagan held me and he cried, and we both just like embraced each other and just cried. I just like let everything out, because it was like, did that really just happen? I don't know. It's weird. I just kind of like rested the next couple of days, but it was kind of just like life kind of went back to normal. I mean, it wasn't normal, but it was normal, because it's like the world doesn't stop. The world's not going to stop for me because I lost a child. It's a weird feeling when you go through something so traumatic and tragic. It's like the world doesn't stop for you. The world does not care about you and your issues. As mean as that sounds, it's just like, it's so true. And it's so weird to experience something like that. And then like the next day I was like, I need to get out of the house and just go do something. So my daughter and I went to Target, and I'm walking around thinking there's all these people passing by me that have their own things going on. And I was like, nobody has any idea what I just experienced yesterday. And nobody would have any idea. That's the craziest part. And so it's been about 2 weeks since that happened, which is why I'm able to talk about it a lot easier, because that first week I was not. And I didn't want to film any of that anyways, or even during it. I know some people will, but it was just like, I was like, how do I pick up the camera and even like film this? It's just like, so I'm able to talk about it a lot easier now. I do have weird moments though, where things that I think wouldn't, I guess I should say, make me cry or make me really sad do. Valentine's Day was really hard. I cried. The other day, my pregnancy apps, I finally decided to delete those because they were just on my phone, and they notify you every few days or once a week about the growth of your baby, and I was like, I don't need this on my phone reminding me. And so I opened up the apps just to kind of like, I guess, see where baby would have been, and I ended up just deleting the apps, and that made me cry, because it was like, I'm closing a chapter, I'm saying goodbye, and it was just really sad. And I didn't think deleting an app, a pregnancy app, would make me cry, but it did. Other than that, I think I'm just like trying to just like go through the motions and emotions of everything. I've been feeling a lot of guilt lately over it, because like I said, when I first found out I was pregnant, I wasn't that excited, because I was like, this is not the plan. I should not be pregnant right now. This is too soon. The feeling of feeling that way, and then being so excited and joyful and being like, okay, this is a good thing. This is going to be like, it's God's perfect timing and all that stuff. And then to lose our child, it's like, all I want is my baby back. That's all I want. And so just feeling really guilty over those initial emotions. And then also just like feeling like, do I even talk about this? Do I even make a video about this? Am I being too dramatic? Because it's not like I had a baby that was in the 2nd trimester or in the 3rd trimester that I lost, or even like had a stillborn. I had a chemical pregnancy that some professions professionals don't even count that as a miscarriage, you know, but it's like, obviously I believe that life begins at conception, and I do believe that I, you know, lost a child. And so it's like, sometimes I'm like, do I even talk about this? When I know, like, I'm somebody that always like struggles with comparison, and I compare myself to other people, and I'm very much aware that like somebody will always have something worse than you. Someone's always dealing with something worse than you out there in the world. And so I'm like, there's so many other people that are dealing with so much worse, or that have had a worse miscarriage or loss than me. Like, who am I to just share about? I minimize my own traumas and suffering that I go through, because I'm always just like, somebody else out there has had it worse. I mean, it's a perfect time for me to start therapy. I'm starting therapy this week, and I'm actually very excited about it, just for like numerous different things that I just want to work through for myself, just to be a better wife and a mother and all that. And I'm like, wow, let's just pile on the trauma to work through. This is great. Ugh. I'm doing a lot better. You know, have an angel baby up in heaven, and, you know, God willing, we'll have a rainbow baby one day, and it'll be beautiful. But right now I'm just kind of just trying to come out of this like fog that I've been living in. I feel like my brain has been in such a fog these last couple weeks that I'm like, I need to get out of this. Like, my brain just feels really fuzzy, and I don't know if that's just like a defense mechanism, but it's like I'm struggling to remember things. I'm just having brain farts. I'm walking into rooms and not remembering why I'm even in there. Even conversations with my husband or friends, it's like I feel like I almost like can't hold a conversation, because it's like I can't comprehend what they're saying, and it's not even over complicated things. They'll be like, what did you do this weekend? And I'm like, what? You know, it's weird. I need to get my health back in order. I don't feel like I'm at my best. I still have just things that I want to work on postpartum, and just get healthier and get my hormones rebalanced and just get into a healthy state, work on my PCOS so that I can be healthy for another baby, because my body is not at an optimal level whatsoever right now. And also I just want to focus on, you know, being the best mother to our daughter, and just focus on her right now. And I think Day and I were both talking about this. We're kind of a little traumatized by what happened, which is understandable. And we both want more kids. We want a larger family. But right now we're so turned off to the idea of me getting pregnant and having another baby. I think it's out of fear right now. And obviously if we were to get pregnant, we would be so excited. But I think we're like, whoa, let's just be a little bit more careful and just kind of put the brakes on a little bit. Anyways, I'm babbling. But I just wanted to talk about this and share it with you guys, and just know, if you're going through this or you have gone through this, you're not alone. I know it can feel very isolating sometimes, but I'm just trying, like for me personally, I'm just trying to press into God as much as I can. I'm doing a lot better. I want to start making more content, and yeah, so I think we're going to go to the beach. I really have just been wanting to watch a sunset. I feel like we haven't gone to the beach in forever, because the weather's just been honestly not the best, and then it's been awfully cold here. Not cold like for most people, but cold here. And so I'm like, let's just go watch a sunset, just soak it all in. So I think that's what we're gonna do.